This is Brad from Pro Wrestling Junkies, and ho, 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 I'm not referring to a House of Ill Repute. I'm talking about the Christmas edition of Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Today's guest hails from Kansas City, Kansas, and began wrestling in 2015. She's worked for such promotions as Zelo Pro, Freelance Underground, Rise, Impact, Shimmer, just to name a few. She's a current Zelo Pro Women's Champion as well as the Freelance Underground Champion. Shared the ring with the likes of Faye Jackson, Brooke Valentine, Missa Kate, Maxie Impaler, Big Swole, Chris Stadlander. Again, I could go on. PWJ ranked her number 50 in their 2020 Top 100 Female Wrestler list. Not to be outdone, they went ahead and ranked her in their top 500 wrestlers in the world, regardless of gender list. No small accomplishment. Her matches can be seen on IWTV as well as on YouTube. So let's welcome today's guest, someone who only weighs a couple 100 pounds less than Santa Claus. I give you the party unicorn, Laynie Luck. Laynie, how are you?
I'm doing so good. Thank you for having me.
Good. That sweater is awesome.
Thank you. It's Jeff's. I have claimed it as mine.
Oh, okay. You're not evil. This isn't a statement saying that you're evil or on the dark side.
No.
Okay.
I only watched The Mandalorian very recently, like last week, literally. And I was like, all right, I can wear the sweater now.
Sweet. Had you ever seen Star Wars or anything?
I've seen like bits and pieces, but I've never been able to be invested enough to sit through an entire movie.
And no interest at all?
No, not really. I can't get into it. I've tried, but they're just so long and a lot of stuff happens. And
are you more of a TV show person?
Oh, 100. I love miniseries. Miniseries is they're my jam, because it's like just long enough where you can get just enough story to where you're not like forgetting everything.
Yeah.
Shit again.
And there's like breaks and everything, so it's not like you're sitting there for. All right, good. Are you? I see that you have your Christmas tree and your sweater. Obviously, it's the Christmas episode. Thank you. Do you have any plans for Christmas this year that are different than normal years because of that virus?
I usually don't like have huge plans for Christmas or anything because I don't live by any family or anything. I mean, now I live with Jeff and his mom, so technically I live close to family now, but with COVID and everything, it's just going to be me, Jeff, and his mom probably eating breakfast together, and that's it.
Is there any expectations as far as gift?
I mean, I'm not expecting like a regular Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm expecting like a light Christmas.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Was there a number thrown out saying, please don't spend over this amount?
No, I feel like we communicate enough that we can like kind of generally gauge what we should be spending.
And since I have you, are you a New Year's Eve going out type person?
Oh my gosh, it's not necessarily going out, but I definitely am doing things. Like last year, we all had a party, like me and my closest friends, like in the wrestling world. We had a get together on New Year's Eve, and it was so fun. But we're obviously not going to be doing anything like that this year.
Yeah, so it's going to be very low key.
Yeah, for sure, low key.
if you had the opportunity, do you have any like objections to wrestling on Christmas Day?
Oh, like in a regular year, non-pandemic?
Yeah.
I love wrestling on holidays. That's like probably my favorite. Like I love wrestling on my birthday. That's like the best birthday present possible. And wrestling on holidays is so much fun.
I imagine wrestling on Thanksgiving would be cool.
Yes, early, preferably.
So do you live in Kansas City now?
No, so I'm actually not from Kansas City. That was just like it was a little brief stop in my overall story, but I started in Texas.
Okay.
So that's where I'm from, and right now I stay in Chicago.
Oh, okay, that's where I just moved from. Well, it feels like I just moved from, but like, in March. So when you were in Texas, did you spend the bulk of your childhood there?
No, I kind of like bounced around between like Texas, Wisconsin, and Oregon.
Oh, okay. Did you pick up a cowboy hat anywhere along the way?
Yes, I've definitely had real cowgirl boots and cowgirl hat. A very expensive one.
Yeah, I was going to say, how much is like a nice high-end like hat and boots? And do they come as a set?
No. No, not really. You kind of just buy them separately. They do sell them in like the same stores.
Oh, okay.
But my dad had like a collection of like very nice cowboy hats that he would always wear out when he went out and everything.
Did you feel like I got this really important guy next? Did he wear Spurs?
I actually did have a pair of cowgirl boots with Spurs on them.
Really?
They were red.
And did you use them? Like
no.
the proper way?
I rode like a horse and a pony a couple times, like when we lived in a trailer park next to a farm.
Okay.
Like we rode our neighbors' horses and ponies, but like
with or without a saddle?
Without.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that difficult?
Not the horse. The horse, we had saddles because we were really little and the horse was huge.
Okay, that's what I was...
He just threw us on there without a saddle. We just went.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll try and guide. I have a question about this and then we'll get to more wrestling stuff. So,
yeah.
You know, I've seen tattoos on faces and all over the place. So you have on your abdomen, is this correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is getting a tattoo there any different, like as far as like you have to breathe and like your, you know, abdomen's going, is it difficult? Does it take longer?
God, it's been so long. Like, what was it even like? I honestly like kind of like took a nap during it and like I was just chilling. I guess I was like trying to breathe like really shallow, but like it wasn't anything that like was impossible. And I think it took like 3.5 hours.
And not this is completely unique to you, so I'm not singling you out. I just don't have like Tupac here. Does it tickle like there?
No, it doesn't tickle. I was prepared for it to like hurt really bad because everyone was like, "Oh, your ribs are like the worst," and whatever. Yeah. But it really wasn't that bad. I think the worst for me is like anything that's really bony. So like my fingers hurt so bad. I will never get another foot tattoo.
Oh
like,
yeah. No. I got one on my finger. It was worse than anywhere else. Like
it's literally just like hitting the bone with the
needle. Totally. It can only go that far, you know. Okay, so I noticed in 2018 and 19 you were working like a pretty heavy schedule. Were you planning on keeping that up before Corona came around, like even more?
Yeah, I was like pretty filled up. Like I don't think I had a weekend going into like the first half of the year. I don't think I had a single weekend with less than 2 bookings.
Wow. And
yeah.
So what have you been doing to like kind of fill a lot of time?
Sitting down and
Are you going crazy or is this like a nice break or are you going like getting really antsy? And
I bounce back and forth. Like I am trying to appreciate the break aspect of it and like try to get the most out of that I can, because I know like when things start back up like that I'm not going to have the time I have right now. So
this will be referred to as the good old days.
Right? Exactly. So I just want to like create really good habits now that I can realistically fit into like a busy schedule. So that's kind of what I'm trying to go through right now. Are people booking shows right now for 2021 at all, or is it very like up in the air? So. I mean, they might, because I mean, like promotions are running right now. So, like those people, I'm sure they have 2021 dates like all throughout the year. But the ones who haven't been running and who have been like erring on the side of caution, I don't know that they're scheduling dates right now. They should just start booking shows at the CDC, you know, like it's probably the safest place, or maybe a hospital. Oh, one quick question before I forget. Turnt, okay? I know what turnt means. I joke about it all the time with my wife. Never leads anywhere. For people who don't know what that means, can you explain turnt? Turnt. Are you comfortable doing it? I mean, for me, like I don't know like your textbook dictionary definition for it. No, for you, I mean. Yeah, it's just like hype, honestly. Like turn up, get hype, get lit, etc. So where did that come from? Was that just kind of who you were? Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you. I think like turn up is just a phrase that like would be said a lot. Like, too turnt. I think the phrase too turnt is in a song somewhere. It's literally playing in my head right now, but I couldn't tell you what it is. I'll have to find it and I'll message it. Or if you think of it, if you think of it during this interview, just break into song.
regardless of what we're talking about.
I couldn't tell you if I heard it in the song first or like said it first or if it like integrated together, but it just became.
It worked.
I'm too turnt. It was just a good description.
Now, do you know how some people, when they're nominated for an Academy Award and they win, they're like, oh, this doesn't mean much to me, you know, blah, blah, blah. When you find out that you're ranked in PWI on both lists, are you like proud of yourself? Like, is that like, you know, a big accomplishment for you?
Yes, oh, for sure. But I do try to like keep it balanced. Like, I don't want to put too much emphasis on the meaning of something like that, because then next year rolls around and maybe I don't make the list at all.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, so I don't want to be like devastated by not being on it, because there are so many wrestlers out there. You literally cannot possibly fit everyone that's above a certain level on one list. Like,
you ever let your mind wander like into, okay, I'm number 50 and there's like hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of other
that's what I was thinking.
Females in the world? Like,
I'm like, I am not like the 50th best woman wrestler on this planet. Like, I'm just
if I was the 50th best anything, I couldn't like conceptualize it, you know?
Exactly. So it's like, that's something to like keep in mind, but it's also like, I'm not gonna not celebrate it. Like,
yeah, it's cool.
I feel very honored that my work was seen and like appreciated and noticed and everything this year.
How'd you find out?
I was told in a Zoom interview.
Really?
Yeah, I was doing it with PWI. I forget, I'm the worst with people, like who they were. But it was just like under the guise of like a regular interview. And then he's like, oh, by the way, we're interviewing all the people that made the list. And I said, so you're interviewing me? So that means that I made the list.
And did
but
they
wouldn't tell me.
Oh, they wouldn't tell you the number? Still,
no.
So what?
They said, I mean, they kind of told me, they said you're in the top 50. And I was 50, so.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so obviously you were exposed to wrestling at some point, otherwise we wouldn't be talking today. When did that happen? Well, no, maybe we would. You do something else that was awesome. When did it come into your life?
I was like 18 to 20-ish. Like, I watched it when I was younger, like in the 90s with The Rock and Stone Cold and all that. And my mom loved The Rock. She was her favorite.
Would she watch Raw with you?
Yeah, when her and my dad were still married, they watched wrestling. They even took us to a show, like a small local show, I think, when we were younger. And we would watch Monday Night Raw, like, all the time. Cool. But just up until I was like 3 or 4, so it's like I only remember a little bit. And I just remember I liked The Undertaker because he was scary and big. And then I didn't watch it like growing up because we moved away from my dad, and I think he was the one that was probably more into it. Oh, okay. So I just stopped watching it. It wasn't cool where I was, so didn't hear of it until I met my ex-husband, and he had been like a huge mark his whole life. Oh, so we started watching it, and we went to a live local show, and I was like, this is sick. This is crazy.
Did your ex-husband, did you know, like before you guys started dating, or like slowly as you're dating, that he was a wrestling fan?
Probably. I feel like it probably came up in conversations. Okay. And then, so around 18 or 19, you started picking up on it again? Yeah, so he just had it on all the time, and I would kind of tune in here and there. But it really wasn't until like we started going to like a live local indie show that I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. So then where do you remember the moment you're like, I'm gonna find a trainer, I'm gonna start doing this? Yeah, I was watching Barbie Hayden and Athena wrestle, aka Ember Moon. And they were like, Barbie was just so beautiful, and she had this like funny like Barbie character, and Athena was like this badass, and they were both so beautiful and badass and doing this cool athletic stuff. And I was just like I didn't know you could do this. I thought it was like pillow fights, you know? Yeah. Brown panties matches. So I was like, they're doing real shit out here. They're wrestling like the boys. That's cool as fuck. And then, can I swear? Is that? I mean, are you over 21? Yes.
Okay, thank God. All right, I was panicking a few seconds ago. All right, no, we're good then.
I didn't know if this was supposed to be like.
It's not for children.
No. Anyways, where was I? Oh, so they were passing out flyers for a local training school that night, and I snatched one up and made an appointment.
Really? Okay, so the night before you're supposed to show up for your first day of training, can you sleep at all? Are you nervous?
No.
Okay.
I was so nervous.
And did you know were you like going with like a friend to have someone to go with?
No, I mean, I went with my ex-husband. He came to the meeting with me, but I didn't know anybody there because I had just moved to the Austin area. Like, I lived with my ex-stepdad. So like, I literally only knew my husband and like the people I worked with. So yeah, I didn't know anyone at all.
And was it intimidating?
Very much, yes.
At this point, had you ever been inside of a ring before?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, and then my last question about this is, when you were going in, did you think you were physically prepared enough before you like even started? Do you think I'm athletic enough? I have the stamina?
Yeah, I did sports in high school. Like, I played soccer all 4 years, and I had been working. Like, I had planned to start going to this wrestling school for a while. So I was working 3 jobs to like save up for it and be able to afford to take the time and pay for the school. So during that time, I was like working 3 jobs, and I started going to the gym at like 5 a.m. every day just so I could like, because I didn't want to show up and like never So I like started working out pretty seriously for probably like 6 months before I went there.
Oh my! So you would go to the gym at 5 a.m. like every day?
Yeah.
And then you had 3 jobs.
I don't know how I freaking did it. I would go to the gym. I would wake up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym, and then I would go. I was an assistant manager at a Dollar General.
Okay.
And so I worked there from like 7:30 to like 5 or something, and then go work at the pizza place from like 6 to like 9 or 10, and then do it all over again. And then I had a cleaning job, so like the days I wasn't working at the pizza place, I would like go clean houses or something.
Jeez. So you paid your dues like early on. But
yeah, because
so were you did that stuff, did your 4 years of soccer and being athletic and having good stamina stuff, did that fully prepare you, or was there stuff you never even thought of?
Oh, absolutely not. Like, nothing can prepare you for just like the physicality and the conditioning that wrestling takes. Like, there's nothing that can replicate, that's what I want, like ring conditioning.
Do you remember your first bump?
Yes.
Was that the first day?
No, I didn't get in the ring for a month.
What did they do up to, if you can say, what happened in that first month?
So like, that wasn't like completely normal for the school. Like, they do keep the trainees out for like 2 weeks, I think, and then get them in the ring. But the day I started, they were moving out of the place they had because they were running in like the garage of a mattress store. So the owner sold the mattress store, and so they no longer had a place to train.
Okay.
So my very first day of training was tearing the ring down and putting it in storage.
Oh my! And did you even get in and hit the ropes or anything like that?
No.
Okay, go on.
And then so we trained in a park for a month. I learned how to run the ropes in a parking lot without ropes.
How does that work?
It's all about the steps you take.
Did you know at this point that it would hurt initially hitting the ropes?
I assumed. I figured it wasn't like gonna feel good.
So you take your bump a month later, and did you get a concussion or anything like that?
I do recall a couple training sessions that I didn't tuck my chin as much as I should have been during the bumps, getting a little dizzy, but never like sustained a concussion that like I had to like sit out a practice for or anything like that.
If someone threw you out of like a first floor or ground level window, would you be able to land properly?
I think I could figure it out. I think it would like,
or at least could you break some of the fall?
Yeah, like I could come out uninjured.
Oh, okay. That's great answer. Okay. How long between your training and your first match? And did you think you were ready for your first match, or did someone else tell you you were?
I think I like wanted my first match, but like I knew it wasn't going to be like, I felt like I was realistic about it. Like, okay. I'm like, I'm not going to have like an amazing match, but I think I'm going to get through it.
Well, that's the
and
important
I think it was about 6, maybe 7 months after I started training.
And was that same thing? Were you nervous like the night, or like the hours leading up to walking out?
Oh yeah, I was just like, I've never been that nervous before in my life.
Have you ever seen someone go to the ring for the first time and vomit beforehand? Like get that worked up and
Not
nervous?
Beforehand, but I've seen them vomit mid-match.
Oh, because they got sick or something?
They just got blown up, yeah.
Oh, okay. Was this person you?
No, I've never thrown up mid-match yet. We'll see.
Breathe if you're telling the truth. Okay. Anyways, so was there a point once you started going where when you were in the ring that said, oh, you know what, I think I'm going to actually do well in this field? Like, was there like a moment or like a looking back type thing?
There really was. It was like literally like last year
Mm-hmm.
that I was like, I feel like I was just having matches, and it was like, I was realizing I was like having fun during them and not just like, oh, having fun at the show and then like having a match and being nervous and hating it and whatever and just getting through it. And it's not like hating it, that's exaggerating,
mm-hmm.
but you know, but I just found myself like at the beginning of last year, just like actually being in the moment and enjoying things and like just working finally. I think like
yeah,
I think
seriously.
I figured it out.
Did you your resume can still include 2020, I think. Just
yeah,
jazzing it up in here or there, you know. So is it cool, because I know you're young, having people who are new come to you now, like for advice? Does that happen?
Yeah, and it feels weird because I'm just like, man, I don't know anything.
yeah, but apparently you do.
Yeah, I love like working with green girls, and that's probably like the most rewarding part is just like I've had so many people's first matches, and it's just like it's special to me to like, because you never forget your first match.
Yeah, for sure.
And like you just learn so much in that first match, and I think it's just so important.
So do you look at it as like you get to guide these, you know, new wrestlers, break them into like their first match and kind of like not coddle them, but you know, make sure it's done the right way and
but just like that they're taken care of, because there was definitely some times that I was not taken care of. Yeah.
So do you wrestle intergender at all?
Oh, I love intergender wrestling.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because you know, when I was growing up in like the 80s and the 90s and even like the early 2000s and stuff, intergender wrestling was more like Andy Kaufman, like that's what I would think of. But why do you think it's gotten really popular and has a lot of credibility now? Why is that?
I think it just has to do with like society changing, and like wrestling has to evolve along with society, otherwise no one's gonna watch it. So it's like the more that we are accepting of people in real life, like there's a lot of, you know, like even the term intergender is almost getting outdated these days, because it's like so many things, so many matches can be intergender regardless of you perceiving it as that. Like there's a lot of non-binary people out there, transgender wrestlers, like everything, like so I feel like as society has progressed further and further, and they continue to do so, and I believe wrestling will follow suit, and it has to.
That makes sense. Outside the ring, is it difficult to have a relationship?
No, I mean, I would say I would not prefer to date outside of the business, just because, I feel like people just don't understand, and for me personally, it just doesn't work. Like, I have to have someone in that field, because every time, like, it obviously didn't work with my husband, like wrestling is the reason we're divorced, and just I feel like I can't connect enough with someone if they're not in the business.
Okay. And I wasn't making a pass at you just now.
Taking us out at all. Don't worry.
You'd have no interest. But I'm going to let you go soon because I know you're busy. Is that Christmas tree real?
No, it's not a real tree.
Can I reveal something to you? Since
Yes.
you revealed that to me?
Is
I'm
that
Jewish.
background thing?
I'm Jewish.
Oh,
You know, so-
Merry Hanukkah.
Yeah,
Happy
totally.
Hanukkah?
No, I remember when I was in 6th grade, we were coming in, we'd say hello to the teacher, and I said, Happy Christmas. And then kids started making fun of me about that. It doesn't even
That's
sound
not
right. Afterwards, I'm like, how did I let that come out of my mouth?
Exactly.
It doesn't flow right. All right. I have a ton of questions, but maybe I'll save those for part 2. It's already the afternoon. Can I ask you 5 yes or no questions non-related to wrestling?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. They're kind of Christmas themed.
Okay.
Have you ever stolen somebody's Christmas present?
No.
Okay. Would you date someone who looked like Santa Claus, but not like the red suit or anything, but still like morbidly obese, like Santa Claus is?
Well, I would probably, yes.
Okay. Did you ever get a Christmas gift that you have ranked now as the worst present you've ever gotten for any occasion?
I don't recall ever getting like a terrible gift.
Okay. For $30,000, would you renounce the holiday of Christmas and only recognize Hanukkah, but you don't have to change your religion? You could still keep your religion. You just like Christmas Day is just another day for you. Hanukkah though, that's your that's your
sure.
week.
I'm not that attached to Christmas.
Okay. And then the final question, would you ever wear eggnog scented deodorant?
Deodorant? No.
No. Are you an eggnog fan?
Yeah, I do like eggnog. So if like there was like maybe like a hand lotion or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a perfume.
Then I would do that.
Can I be honest with you for a second?
Yes.
I was gonna ask you originally if it was eggnog scented perfume, but then I started thinking like, is that like demeaning, like assuming a woman's wearing perfume? Like I could have asked my wife, but so that wouldn't have been like strange, right?
No, I mean, because you could ask a man if he would do cologne. So
yeah, I've been watching this Marvelous Mrs. Maisel show, and it takes place in the 50s or 60s, and it's thrown me off as far as how you could not treat women, but like
what's acceptable and
yeah, totally. So I only tried on my wife, but that's it.
Laynie, I appreciate that, though. The fact that you're even considering.
Well, yeah, I thought of because sometimes she's like, Brad, that's inappropriate. If I read her something. So, anything happening inside the ring the rest of this month?
No.
And then anything on the horizon in 2021?
I don't have any dates right now. I'm kind of just like waiting for the vaccine to come out and for everybody to like kind of get through that first wave, and maybe I'm being really optimistic by saying like maybe March I'll have my first match in 2021, but I'm also not promising anything.
Yeah. If you're looking for work and are interested in doing some babysitting for little or no pay, just hit me up. You can DM me, okay?
I do not do well with children.
Laynie, it's a standing offer. Just keep it in mind. You never know. If you're in Champaign, Illinois, you need a couple bucks or not any.
I'll keep it in mind.
Me. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of the year and a nice, happy, and healthy New Year. And I hope we can do a part 2 sometime in 2021 when you get up and going again.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
All right, Laynie, take care, and thank you so much again for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Have a good one.
You too. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Happy Hanukkah.
You're the best. Bye.